Let's take a look at what we're going to do today in Flash. This is going to be our 5th movie, and this one's about putting photos into a Flash movie. Now, I don't have a handout for this one. If you go to my website and you're looking for a project guide or a handout that shows you step by step, you're going to be disappointed today. There's not one there. So what you're going to have to do, this is taking forever to load, but what you're going to have to do is just watch this movie closely, pay attention, and I think you'll catch on. I think it's not too bad. It's photos in a Flash movie. All right, so I'm going to get my website out of the way here and go over to Flash. And I want to show you what I'm talking about first of all. You see this weird looking animal here on the stage. It's a picture of a weird looking little animal. And I'm going to run this movie. I press enter, and if you see the playhead going across the timeline here, these photos, they're all just kind of strange animals that I have. Oh, the proboscis monkey, everybody's favorite there. So you see what I've got. I've got 5 pictures of these weird looking animals. And here's what they all do. The picture pops on the stage, stays for a little bit, and then it switches to another picture. So in this movie, we're kind of looking at 3 different problems that you work on solving in Flash. How do I get a picture on the stage? How do I make it stay for a little while? And then when I'm done with it, how do I make it go away? Well, we're going to solve all these problems, all 3 of those problems in this demo, and then that's what I want you to try. Now, a couple of things for you to know about these pictures. I'm going to show you where I have left copies of these pictures so that you can use them if you want to, but you don't have to. If you would rather just use some pictures that you have saved on your network drive, or maybe you want to take a minute to get out on the internet and pick some pictures, you can do that. My only rule on this assignment is the pictures have to be school appropriate. They can be whatever kinds of pictures you want as long as they're school appropriate. All right, that's my only requirement. So you don't have to use the animals if you don't want to. All right, well, let's check this out. I'm going to close that movie, and here is exactly how you do it. First of all, you'll have to start a new movie. Create new column right in the middle, Action Script 3.0, start a new movie. I'm going to fit that into the window there. Now, I'm going to make my stage black just because I want to, but you can do whatever you want with the stage color. I'll come over here to my Properties panel. I'm going to pick black right here. I'm ready to go. Now, here comes the most important part of this whole lesson. If you forget about this part and you try to do it the wrong way, you're going to run into trouble. To put a photo onto the stage, I have to click File and click Import. Now, a lot of people want to do this. A lot of people want to click File and click Open and then go looking around for their pictures, and that doesn't work. It just doesn't work that way in Flash. So if you click File and you click Open and you just can't find your pictures, well, that's because that's just not how you do it. All right, now here's how you do it. You click the File menu, you click Import, and then what we want to do is just import to stage. It says it right here. There's even a keyboard shortcut, Control-R, if you like keyboard shortcuts. All right, import to stage, and you might see this box that says Preparing to Import, and it shows up here for a few seconds. It's working. Finally, when it gets done, what's going to happen here is that when it finally gets done, what's going to happen here is that it's going to pop up with when it finally gets done, I don't think yours will take this long. All right, when it finally gets done, it's going to pop up with an import dialog box here. And what you would have to do is browse around, like if you click over here on Computer, and if you want to go look on your network drive, double-click Drive H and look there. If you have things saved in your downloads folder over here, or maybe, gosh, I don't know where they might be, but you have to look around, maybe in your pictures library here. So what you wind up having to do is you have to look around and find the image that you want. Now, if you want to use the animals that I'm using in my movie here, you can click over here on the left on Computer and find this Courses drive letter L. Double click on that. You won't see all of these folders, but you should see a folder for your class. Like if you're in 3rd hour, you should see Arvin period 3. Or if you're in 6th hour, you should see Arvin period 6. I'll just use 3rd hour as an example. All right, so if I double click here where it says Arvin period 3, there are 4 folders here. I want to go inside the assignments folder, so I'll double click there, and oh look, there's a folder here that's called Animals. So I'll double click there, And there's all of these animals. Great. Now, if you want to, you can click this little button and say, like, for example, small icons, medium icons, even large icons if you want to, and it will show you what the animals look like. All right, there we go. I can see what I'm doing. Now, you can use these animals too if you want to. They're on the Courses Drive, Drive L, inside the Assignments folder if you want to use them. All right, well, let's get going here. I'm going to pick this taper here first, and I'll just open that up. I'll pick the picture and click Open. Now, here's one thing to watch. The picture might be a little bit too big for the stage. If that's the case, come over here and get the Transform tool. It's the third tool down on the toolbar, the third tool. We've used it before. And I'm just going to make this picture smaller. And I'll make it fit on the stage. Set it in there wherever you want. All right? Now, so that solves one of the problems. How do I get a picture on the stage? Well, it's File, Import, Import to Stage, and you go find your picture and do it that way. Now, the next problem is, how do I make it stay for a little bit? I want that picture to stay when the movie runs. I want it to stick around for a little bit. Well, here's how you do that. On the timeline, just move your mouse pointer down to whatever frame you want. If I decide I want this to stay until frame 50, I could click down here on frame 50, or 60, or 70, or 90, or whatever I want. I can scroll this timeline, and I could pick any frame I want. All right, now I think I'll maybe go about 50 frames for this picture. I'll click at about frame 50, and here's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to press the F6 key. Now what that does, you'll see it right here, it just kind of blocks out this whole section of the movie, and that means that this picture, this one you're looking at right now, is going to stay there for 50 frames. If I press the Enter key, there's 50 frames worth of that picture, and that's looking good. All right. Now, so that's problem number 2 in this issue. You know, how do I get the picture on the stage is problem number 1. Problem number 2 is how do I make it stay for a little bit. Now we come to problem number 3. I want that picture to go away, and I want to be able to put another picture on after this one's done. Well, this is another keyboard shortcut, and it's a one-key thing. All I'm going to do is press the F7 key right next door to F6 that we've been using, you know, for a long time. I'm just going to press F7. Pow! When I press F7, it moves on to the next frame, but it doesn't copy that picture over there. So it's empty now. It's blank. And what I can do is I can go ahead and put on my next weird-looking animal that I want. Well, okay, so now we're going to pick up speed here. This is going to get easier. I'm going to go File, Import, Import to Stage, and I'll pick the next animal that I want. I'll do this pangolin, and I'll open that. Now, the pangolin picture doesn't look like the size is too bad. Now, you can use the Transform tool and size it if you want to. That's up to you. All right, there we go. Now, on the timeline, what I want to do once again is move forward down the timeline, pick a frame. You know, if you want it to stay for a real long time, then go a long way down the timeline. If you want it to stay for a shorter time, then go a shorter distance down the timeline. It's up to you. I'm going to go about to right around frame 100, and I'll just press F6. And that marks that section of the timeline, and that means the pangolin's going to stay there. Now it's time for the pangolin to go away, and what was that keystroke again? It was F7. All right. So if I run my whole movie, there's one animal right there, there's 2 animals right there. Now your goal in this assignment today is to have 5 pictures, so whatever they're going to be, 5 pictures. All right, so I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to go faster and faster. I'll do File, Import, Import to Stage. Let's get another animal here. How about the sloth? And I'll open up the sloth. Now the sloth is a little bigger than the stage, so I'm going to use my Transform tool, and I'm going to size him down, move him a little bit, and that looks pretty good. I got him where I'd like to have him. On the timeline, I'm going to jump forward. You know, I'm moving my mouse. I'm not dragging my mouse. I just come down here and I find the frame I want. I click in the frame I want. I press F6 to mark the spot. All right, so again, I got one of those gray bars here. That's the sloth is going to stay right on there. That's perfect. To make the sloth go away, I press F7. I'm up to 3 pictures. Let's keep going. File, Import to Stage, and I want to get another animal. I got to save that proboscis monkey for last. I'll do the thorny devil here. I'm going to use my Transform tool, and I'm going to make that thorny devil a little bit smaller. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then again, I'm going to have to scroll the timeline a little bit, and I'm going to jump down the timeline. Again, when I say jump down, I'm just looking down the timeline. I'm going to take my mouse pointer and just click somewhere around frame 200 is what I want. You can pick your own frame. So I pick a frame there, about frame 200, press F6 to mark the spot, press F7 to make the thorny devil go away. Last one, this should be my 5th picture. File, import, import to stage. Got to do that proboscis monkey, everybody's favorite. All right, there he is, isn't he lovely? I'll just scroll this over a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. I like the size of that picture, so I'm not going to use the transform tool to size that at all. So I'll jump forward here to about frame number 250. I'm going to press F6 to mark the spot. And now, this is where you have a little bit of a decision to make. It's not an earth-shattering thing. I have to decide at the very end of the movie, do I want that picture to remain on the stage or do I want it to disappear? Well, if I want it to disappear, all I would have to do is press F7 one more time. If I want it to remain, then I'm done. That's it. But I think I'm going to go ahead and hit F7 so that at the very end of the movie, that picture disappears and I'm left with a blank stage. Now, I could even, if I wanted to, come out here with like the type tool, the text tool, and put the end. But that's up to you. All right, so now if I press enter, it's going to run. There's my first picture, second picture, third picture, fourth picture, and 5th picture, the proboscis monkey, and then it's going to disappear. There it is. It's a Flash movie with photos in it. It has 5 photos. It's not fancy, they don't do anything, but we're solving the problems of how do I put a photo in a Flash movie, how do I make it stay, how do I make it disappear when I'm done with it. Cool. All right, now I go to File, I go to Save As. I click over here on Computer and make sure I get to my network drive. I want to save it there. And this would just be Photos. You can just call it Photos when you save it. P-H-O-T-O-S, photo, because that's what we're doing. We're putting photos into a Flash movie. So I'll just save it with that file name. And then you can, on My Big Campus, you'll be able to turn it in. It'll be Flash movie number 5. Let's see if this will pull up here. And I think that I have it all set for you. If it's not all set, and this is, of course, being very slow, but let me take a real quick look here. It'd be Flash movie number 5. There it is. Flash movie number 5, photos. That's where you would turn it in. That's your link for turning this assignment in. All right, folks. It is your turn, your time. Have at it.